My rose is made with love and pride. Into the middle, then to give it a pinch. To tie it off, well, that's just a cinch. We'll reinforce it like love, making it strong, making it true. To finish it off, I simply thread it through. 1 and 2. This, my friends, is living art, live on Ocean Drive. From me to all of you, the rose. My name is David Common. I am 47 years old and originally from Santa Cruz, California. In 2001, I actually walked here from California. It's kind of amazing being here in Miami with such a contrast. You can literally one side of the track to the other side of the track, and you can visualize it all. From those that are spending $300 to $500 a plate to eat, and those that have nothing. But in a way, that's why I'm here. To be an artist and make a living, I need to be able to make the sales. And my art being so original, people want to take it home. So I can't actually make a living doing it. Well, when I negotiate prices with my regular customers, I name my price. If it's too high, I allow them to name their own. The catch is, for every $5 they take off of my price, they have to do 3 nice things for 3 different people, 3 random acts of kindness. This is the message and motivation behind my art. It lets people see that the material possessions are not what's important in life. What's important in life is love. I would much rather honestly live in poverty and give love than have no love and be wealthy. My life before moving to Miami was the average life. I ran my own business. It was a custom cabinet shop. I did kitchen cabinets. My specialty were doors. I made anywhere from 12 to 30 foot tall double entryway doors that you see in like your major churches or multi-million-dollar homes. My business was doing very well. I was financially secure. My family before this, I had fallen in love with my high school sweetheart, my fiance. We had a 2.5-year-old little girl. And the 3 of them, my fiance was 7.5 months pregnant, and I lost all 3 of them to a drunk driver in 1991. My car had a flat tire. They were broken down on the side of the road, and the driver had passed out, intoxicated, crossing the road, hitting them head on. It was the greatest loss I've ever suffered. After losing them, I started using a lot of cocaine, a lot of drinking, trying to cover the pain. But then the Lord intervened. He gave me the greatest blessing of my life. That was the fire. We had an electrical fire that turned to an extreme loss. Not only did I lose the business, but it went to my showroom and my home as well. I had installed 2 storage containers, fuel tanks, one for diesel, one for racing alcohol, and I did this without a city permit. And when my insurance came in to investigate, they counted that as a breach of contract, and I lost everything. You see, in losing everything, I gained everything. So that's when I came back to the Lord. And I actually said, Lord, anything that you would have me do, make it known to me, and I'll do it. That's when the vision came. Through a dream, I was in the tropics of Florida. I knew the Lord was telling me to walk through the forest, through the desert, into the tropics. That's the entire United States. I left the very next day with only $4 in my pocket. And I walked the entire United States. I walked from Santa Cruz to Los Angeles. In Texas, I went from 10 to Austin and back, into Jacksonville, down to Key West and here. After the journey and after losing so much, I didn't want anything. I actually stayed homeless for 12 years, by choice. I was so devastated from such a great loss. You know, after burying your wife and your children, it pretty much can destroy a man. I guess you could say I was damaged goods. So I didn't want anything. I didn't want to have to go through the loss again. So I stayed homeless for 12 years, working every day, providing with my own hands, not begging, not asking for a handout, not going and bothering tourists at tables where they eat, but working. And that alone, my art, is a story within itself. I was sitting on Lincoln Road, and at that moment, literally, a coconut branch fell from the tree, and it reminded me of a pouch that I made as a child. This is something I learned in the missions. We used to take these leaves, and we make pouches to cook, to store, and prepare food. And then our toys were things that we made of nature. And I told my grandfather, after a long day at work, "Grandfather, Papa, this pouch, it looks like a fish." After a long day at work, my grandfather looked at me and said, "David, go make fish." I did. And when that coconut branch fell out of that tree, it reminded me of that little fish that I made as a child. Well, the very next day, I dragged that branch down to Starbucks and started making fish and selling them. By about 1 o'clock, I had a good $60 in my pocket. After making my first one, I kind of looked back at it and I'm like, wow, I made that? It was kind of surprising. But the Lord had blessed me with a new gift, the gift of art. It's 10 years after losing my dog, the Bosco, the mighty Bosco. He was the dog that walked here, made my journey with me from California. It took me quite a long time to get over his death. But when I was ready, the Lord knew I was ready, and I asked him, "Father, provide for me a dog." And he answered that prayer the very next day. Jeremiah came into my life. I couldn't say no. I absolutely fell in love with this little one. Love at first sight for both of us. That's my only family. I call him my dog son, my fur child. That's my baby. Yeah, I do have the dream of starting over and finding the right woman. And only recently have I come to a place in my heart to where I'm ready for that, to even think about it or accept it. And yeah, that would be a dream come true.
Es un tipo bien persistente. A pesar de todo eso, él cada día viene a trabajar allí, esto y lo otro, cuida a su perro como si fuera un hijo. Yo creo que desemboca todo ese amor acumulado que por dentro, todas esas cosas con su perro, adora a su perro. Pero es una persona muy trabajadora, muy persistente.
Awesome artist. He's an awesome artist. The things that he does with those little leaves and the razor blade, I could never do it. I won't be able to do it. He shouldn't be on the streets. He deserves to be somewhere else. And I hate the part sometimes that he gets hassled by the police. He's not stealing from anybody. He doesn't ask you for anything. You buy his artwork. He's not hurting anybody. He's not stealing, he's not robbing anybody, and he's not drunk and he's not doing drugs like most of the other homeless. That's why I like him.
Reaching a person with a message of love is my goal. That's what I want to accomplish. I want to show people that they can do anything they put their mind to. But the greatest thing that we can do is share love with each other. no matter the cost. How do I see myself in 5 to 10 years? Hopefully a well-known artist in a nice apartment, living with a little bit of security. Or like I said, rather than an apartment, even a nice motorhome.